You're listening to a CNA podcast.
Now, a letter to myself with Joel Chua.
Hi, and thanks as always for your company. Well, this is going to be a delightful conversation. Confirm plus chop. Sylvia Toh Paik Choo has a decades-long career as a writer, and she's also regarded as Singapore's foremost authority on our local patois, Singlish, of course. She's literally written the book on it. But of course, she's done so much more over an illustrious career as a columnist and a writer. For her contributions to her craft, Sylvia was inducted earlier this year into the Singapore Women's Hall of Fame. In our chat, Singapore's Godmother of Singlish reflects on her colourful and serendipitous journey. Well, just don't call her the A word.
What I would not accept would be auntie of Singlish. Oh, mercy me. That would not do.
Auntie is not about an age, it's about a mentality, a sensibility,
absolutely.
Isn't it? And you're nowhere near
how
that.
How you dress to, how you eat.
And you are nowhere near that because I see that you have your funky red glasses on.
Yeah, I stay cool for my nieces and nephews, basically.
They keep you young.
No, I keep them young. They think I'm the coolest thing on planet Earth. So, why go and dash their foolish notions?
I can see why. It's very easy to see why. So, Godmother of Singlish. Share with us how that title was bestowed upon you.
Well, I was the first to document it. In other words, I actually put a spelling to Singlish and I punctuated it. That's the best I can describe it because before that, I think there may have been some academic study on the patois of the region or something, but no one had documented it the way I did. Conversation and in little situations.
Right. This came about in the early 80s, I believe, when you published that pivotal book.
Yeah, resonated with everyone, young and old. It just hit the right button at that time and took off from there.
From the title of the book itself.
Yes.
Goondu.
Goondu. And then the sequel was Lagi Goondu.
How did you come to fall in love with Singlish?
First you got to be an eavesdropper. You got to listen in on other people's conversations. And then, it's like poetry to my ears. I remember I was in a cafe and a grandchild whispered in the grandmother's ear and the grandmother turned to her. They were Pranakan because dressed in sarung kabaya. And the grandmother said to her, you, every time you go out, you must want to Lego bomb.
Say that again, Lego bomb.
Yeah, Lego bomb, LEGGO BOMB, meaning she needs to go to the toilet, the kid. So I thought that was simply lovely because there's no other way to put it. But basically how it did begin was I used to do a Sunday column in a newspaper when we had print media.
Yes.
It was a humor column. And then I had to go out to lunch and I said to my friends, okay, whoever's there first, chop a seat or table. Huh? Then after lunch, I came back and I was lost for an idea for the week's humor column. Then I thought, why don't I write chop and then all the other words that I can remember? So I did. I don't know how many words, dozen or so words and phrases. And it was such a huge hit, I had to continue doing it. And I did it for like a couple more months. Every Sunday, I continued because there was such a wide audience for it.
Yeah,
and then eventually a publisher came to me and said, look, we'd like to put this in a book. I said, sure. So we did. And then the rest is history or hysterical, I don't know.
In your case, her story, not history,
Yes,
but her
that's
story.
right.
Because you've also recently been inducted into the Singapore Women's Hall of Fame.
Yes, thanks for mentioning that again. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. That's really a biggie.
It is.
I don't know how else to explain it.
It is, but also so befitting. How do you see Singlish coexisting with conventional mainstream English?
Yeah. Most of us can code switch easily. You and I know that in an exam, we are not going to put How can? Cannot lah. Why you early don't tell me? You know, we know what to do. Of course, most parents want their children to speak properly. That I would be the first to agree. But I think, you know, most Singaporeans know when you write a business letter, an email, only in WhatsApp do you still have Singlish and all the emojis and the shorthand, which really is quite destructive on the English language.
This is very interesting. You say that the shorthand and the emojis are destructive on the English language, but you wouldn't use that description when it comes to Singlish, would you?
No.
Why?
Singlish is actually compared, you see, compared to how we type on WhatsApp. It looks positively like Oxbridge English, you know. I mean, it's like at least there's a full sentence.
Singlish has its own grammar to it.
That's right. And it's not broken English. People seem to think broken English, like, today got geography or not? That would be broken English. But Singlish is not. Just a shorthand, you know. Before I put it down in black and white, it was verbal.
Right.
And then when I did, I would explain in full paragraphs, proper English, the origin and so on, and when to apply it, when to use it, and how to punctuate it. And then for good measure, I spelt it, you see. It's a short form speak. Singaporeans are so... I remember people like to say when you start a story and like, hey, can cut short or not? And that's Singlish. Americans would now say, can you cut to the chase? Yeah.
What's your favorite Singlish term or phrase?
Oh dear. I, honest to goodness, do not have one. And people do ask me. I tell you, when I finished the first book, after I finished, I closed it, I suddenly hit my head. I said, alamak, I forgot to put the word ulu in there. And so I had to do a second book.
Right.
So I just, maybe I overuse alamak myself.
I'm guilty of that as well.
Yes, which is not good because it means like, oh dear.
Oh dear, what happened?
Yeah, like,
what did I do?
alamak, what did I do? Oh dear. You know, the my first reaction when I received notification that I was going to be inducted into the Singapore Women's Hall of Fame, my first thought was, alamak, how come they go and ask me on? That was it.
Did you ever foresee yourself becoming a literary icon the way you've become? Because I know that in the earlier years, you weren't doing so well academically.
No, that's putting it mildly, Joel. I was thrown out of school at 14. Not because I went and put sugar in the principal's gas tank or like, punctured someone's... No, I simply did not open a school textbook in my life. I never studied a day. I was busy listening to radio. Can I mention rediffusion? Comic books, playing police and thieves downstairs the work. So I never did any schoolwork. I would go to school maybe 7 minutes before bell rang to copy math homework from someone. Even if that person got it wrong, I would copy it wrong. And the teacher said to me, Sylvia, if you must copy, at least copy one with the right answer lah. So that's it.
Important life lesson learned.
Yes. So I was thrown out of school, kicked out of school, whatever. I was just, the report card says, like, sorry, you failed. You cannot stay in school.
At 14?
Yes, at 14.
And
Fortunately, I think quite a few famous people all dropped out at 14. Maybe that's the magic number.
Maybe.
Oh, kids, don't go and do that, no?
Yeah, good disclaimer.
Please study and pass your exams, okay?
There are many, what's the term now? There are multiple paths to success.
Yep.
Many pathways to success.
Yes.
Many of us take the academic route, the mainstream academic route.
Yeah.
Some of us may not, as in
Yeah.
your case. So what happened after that when you left the mainstream schooling system?
I just failed better. No, I had to go to find a private school to go to.
Okay.
And the teacher actually said, "Wow, it was sinful for your school to throw such a bright person like you out."
Wow. How did that make you feel? That those words of validation.
Yes. Well, too bad lah. They cannot have you stay in school. You did not pass your exams.
Yeah.
If you get 0 for Chinese, F for math, sorry lah.
Yeah. So how did your literary awakening come about?
Precisely from listening to radio, reading comics, stuff like that. That was my education. My Bible was Mad Magazine. So, it probably honed trying to look at things from another angle from the rest through the academic lens or whatever.
Right. Speaking of Mad Magazine and looking at things from a different angle, I remember the back page of all the Mad magazines. You had to fold it in a certain way
that's right.
to make a completely different image.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit cheeky.
One of the most creative things we first encountered.
Yeah. So these were your early creative sparks.
Yes. And then you try to, I suppose, you try to do things similar. It could influence your writing or your drawing or your thinking.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Even before the Goondu book came out and the sequel, you were already an established humorist. In fact, you made a name for yourself. The first female humorist published.
Right. That's right. Humorist is a title the print media gave me. They would write Humorist Paik Choo. And I explained to them, it sounds like my first name is Humorist Paik Choo. Because Paik Choo is just my Chinese name.
Yes.
My surname is not even there. So it's called Humorist Paik Choo. Anyway, for me, it's no big deal. Better than pessimist. I think I wrote a column about being a teenager, and I sent it to Her World at the time.
Right.
And a year later, I think, after I left teenhood, the editor replied and said, "We find this article very interesting. Come and see us." And they wanted to chat with me because they thought I may have copied it from somewhere. They had not seen writing like this before.
What kind of writing had they not seen before?
Maybe Anglophile, British sense of humor. I think.
Very dry wit.
Yes, that's right. Can be like sarcastic or So I think that was it. I'm guessing that's what they just wanted to check me out, like how you speak. And pretty soon they knew, no, it's got to be my own work, because I could then produce one every week, and which I did. And then they decided, well, why don't we just employ her? And it was, it's just about the only job I know, really, working in print media. And then I went and worked in broadcast media as well, radio and television.
Right, you were here with MediaCorp's predecessor, TCS, for a number of years.
Yes, TCS, that's right. Working on English production scripts. And then as a sideline, once a week I'll run down to radio and do a 2-minute movie review for 98.7.
Yes. You've had many different roles in print media or in the media industry, more broadly speaking.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of that journey?
Oh, I think it would be writing personal columns. Yeah. I can write on anything. Well, I better quickly add, I can't do IT stuff unless it's... I tried, like a Goondu whiz or something like that, and came unstuck. I just do not know IT. And business reports, I don't do that. But basically the rest, I can be assigned anything, and I just did it. I don't know how to explain a personal style. Actually, one of the producers told me that I had put rhythm in the script. So I'm very glad he said that, because that is very hard to achieve, cadence to a script. So
that's very interesting. The course of your career, right? It's been...
You call it a career? It was a good gig.
A multi-decades gig.
Yeah.
And a very prolific one at that.
Well...
If you were to look back at the journey that you've been on, right? Maybe even all the way up to the point when you left the mainstream schooling system, right? If you could write a letter to your younger self, what would you say in that letter?
First of all, Joel, I would say when you get a call from radio or TV to appear on a program to talk about your younger and future self, don't answer because they will ask you very tricky questions.
None of the questions that I've asked have been tricky, have they?
No, just, you know.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know, because one is busy living the life and life's experiences. So you don't have time to like halt and think back. I wish I'd done this when I was younger, or let me think what I'm going to do when I'm older. I don't. I'm just on the onward path, just, living life. In my lazy, loafish manner. Loafing.
But if that younger version of yourself needed to hear a piece of advice at whatever point in time, what do you think the most important piece of advice would be?
Oh, I would say be kind, To me, that's the thing to do. Be kind. I can't think what else.
Why? Why was that important for your younger self to hear?
Possibly because I recall now bullying my brothers and sisters. So maybe,
Were you the eldest?
Yes, I'm number one. So I'm now saying be kind. I suppose my answer is also influenced by what's going on around the world now. When I think of how we grew up, we have been very lucky to have lived through, in my case, like the stone tablet, Flintstones, the stone tablet to the electronic tablet. I lived through all that. First, enjoy yourself. After that, you have to do the homework. Basically, I can't say follow your path because in my case, I'm not sure I followed a path. Possibly the path chose me. I had seen a book on the table. It said, don't know, Sally Perkins or something, cub reporter. And I did not know, I was like 13, I did not know what this term meant, cub reporter. Then I thought, maybe I want to be that.
A cub reporter.
Yeah.
Someone who reports on baby lions.
That's right, zookeeper.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe, so when people, I would say cub reporter, not knowing what it meant. But eventually I ended up being, you could say like intern reporter, and then very quickly became editor and so on and so forth. So I didn't set out to follow any path and I'm one of those, as one of my editors said, no use for you to tell Sylvia this, that, or the other. She'll listen and say yes, and then she'll just go and do her own. And that's exactly it. So I'm the last person to give advice, especially when 14 years old have to leave school. Goodness, you'll scare all the parents away.
Right. So it seems like luck had a very significant role to play.
Quite a few factors. It could be luck, timing, hard work. It would have to be a combination.
Right.
Some people are truly born with a silver rolling pin in their mouth or whatever.
Born under a lucky star.
Yeah, born under, a galaxy of stars, and those are few and far between. And then...
but you wouldn't consider yourself one of those people, would you?
No, because I think timing and hard work is tied to it.
Yeah,
what may look very easy,
yes.
Actually, you had to sweat a bit there.
Yes, because what was interesting also when you shared your perspective, you said that have fun first, but then be prepared to do the homework.
Yes,
right?
you have to do the homework. Yeah.
Share with us what that was like for you in your experience.
You see, there are people with attitudes like, snapshot, I can breeze through this. I never had that. People think you have that like, this should be easy for you. No, you actually have to do the homework. And you must know how to do it so that it does look like it was a breeze for you.
It takes a lot of hard work to make something look easy.
Yes, it's very hard to look like you did nothing. You know, there are people with gifts. You know, those are in another stratosphere, genius. You know, I think Stephen Fry is a genius.
The British humorist.
Yes, that's right. He's like.
Why do you say he's a genius? What about
he can just do anything and everything. You know, while talking to him, you can say something like, and you probably can say the Lord's Prayer in Latin, and he will just do it.
It's like he's got a computer for a brain.
Yes. He knows all kinds of information compared to what I know. Like, for instance, I will say to you, no need to jump on the treadmill. The man who invented the treadmill died at 58. You see, unless it's very trivial, it will not interest me.
Right.
So,
but you've made it work for you because you made a career out of popularizing
yes,
it and making these seeming trivialities interesting and compelling and readable.
But I have to also add that until Google came along, friends would ring me to ask, hey, what is the name of the actress in this? And before they finish the sentence, I would give them the answer, oh, Linda Evans or whatever. And I believe that Google has dashed or killed hope with a capital H. By which I mean, I don't know how to explain. You know, I am a believer in serendipity. Like, you can turn a corner and see something like, oh, I never knew it was like this. And then you found things out by accident or just by curiosity or just by walking to the end of the corridor and then taking a different turn. You discover things. All that has been dashed.
Having answers at our fingertips.
Yes.
Not having to
it
search.
Has killed serendipity and hope because every mother's son is now an expert and an authority just from a click on Google. It has taken all the fun out of life and, you know, imagine yourself like discovering things out of curiosity and like if you don't know the answer to this thing, you must know where to go and find it.
Yeah.
You go and maybe try the library, and then when you go there, you discover something else. All that is finished. You just click on Google. That is awful for people like me.
For creative people.
Yeah, or kepo. Kepo
I was
folk.
trying to be polite.
I know.
But being the queen of Singlish, the grandmother of Singlish,
Right.
you had to use a more appropriate Singlish term, very apropos.
Yeah.
So how do you, in this age of instantaneous answers, which preclude the need for us to go on that journey of seeking and searching and serendipity, how do you continue to feel that sense of wonderment and serendipity?
You know, every night before I sleep, and it'll be like morning, you know, because I wake late and sleep even later.
Same here.
I'll be thinking, let's say, of a TV series, and then suddenly I'll be thinking, oh my golly gosh, I've forgotten what that actress's name is. Then I will start alphabetically, you know, in my mind, A to Z, I will try. And then sometimes I have to go double up and go around it a couple of times before I get it. I will do that because I do not want to click on Google to find out.
It's a discipline.
Yes. For me, it's exercise, agility, whatever. It can be like the name of a kueh, an actor, anything. What was that? Lane or place, the biscuit, anything. I will use the alphabet, ABC, and go down and like that. Right. And I will almost force myself to get it. A couple of times I've been defeated, and then I'll just go to sleep.
I
won't look it up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I cannot. I'm only in competition with myself.
Wow.
So I won't look it up. I mention this because the last couple of nights I have been trying to figure out an actress's name.
Tell us.
The series is Frasier.
Okay.
Yeah, there are two girls. One is Perry Gilpin, And the other girl, I cannot remember her name, but
Let me take out my phone.
Yeah,
and
I'm not looking it up.
No, I'm kidding.
Why don't you take out your phone and you look up Frasier? You have the names and you give me. One is Perry Gilpin. The other girl, you give me her initials.
Okay. So that's the furthest you're willing to concede.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait. Let me see. Okay.
That's because you are here and I can ask you to.
Yes.
But I myself will not look it up.
Okay. Terry Gilpin is one of Perry Gilpin, right?
Yes, that's one.
Terry Gilpin.
The other girl, I cannot.
Okay. Wait. Let's see.
For the life of me,
Where are they?
remember her name.
Okay. Where are they?
There's like Kelsey Grammer.
Okay. So the other lady, her first name starts with. You okay with the first letter?
L? No.
J. Her first name starts with J, and the surname starts with L. You want another clue?
Yes.
You want
It is Jane.
Yes. You're 50% right.
It was just, I had a flicker of the L. I haven't got it yet.
Do you want another hint? Would that be acceptable under your self-made
Okay,
rule?
the second letter.
Okay, I won't give you the second letter.
The last letter.
I'll give you a conceptual hint.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay. It's a living thing. This L word is a living thing.
Oh my goodness.
And quite abundant in Singapore.
Oh, Leevs, leaves.
She's won the prize,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen. She's won the prize.
Thank you, man, Joel. That really made my day.
And you only...
Yeah, very good. Your hints and thank goodness I didn't have to go to Google.
You've only used a partial lifeline. That wasn't a full lifeline. That was just a partial lifeline.
Still got chance to be millionaire lah. My bunch of kakis and we will drop everything to go and meet over, coffee and toast and or buffet or little makan. And it's important to do that because we are now senior citizens,
Give us a ballpark. Are you comfortable giving us a ballpark? What number?
Yes, I'm in the third quarter, the last lap. Like if you think in terms of 25-50, after 25-50 is 75, we are in that in that area.
Yes.
In that vicinity.
Okay.
And we used to say, hey, when we run into friends, I'm like, let's catch up. I then started to say, no, we don't just say let's catch up. We must make an effort to catch up. And we do catch up. Because, that's what you must do. Don't just like in passing say, hey, how man? Catch up lah. No, we do. We actually go out and sit down and all talk loudly at the top of our voices at the same time.
And that is a must as well. That's a prerequisite.
That's right. We used to be ladies who lunch. Now we are ladies who lurch. I'm saying to my friends, lurching from like grabbing like handrail la, table la, armchair in case fall forward. Yes, so all things being equal, there is, the road ahead, although it may look kind of crooked because of the way we are with our knees and hips.
Yeah. And if speaking of the road ahead, right? If you could write a letter to your future self, what would be in that letter?
To my future self, I would actually just tell myself to enjoy myself, Yeah, really, back to like being kind, enjoy yourself, and then I don't want any more homework.
You've done enough homework.
Yes,
already.
I've done enough homework. And I hope I've got a whole bunch of people to do this with. I tell you, one day, someone had organized a walk in Joo Chiat, a whole bunch of kakis. And then we came upon a judge's house, It was pointed out by the guide that this is a judge's house. I said, okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to ring the doorbell and then we run, okay? And so I did that and I turned around. They had all fled, the cowards that they were. They had run first before I rang the doorbell. You see, back to enjoy yourself. Be kind. Wait for me before y'all run. Yo.
That is amazing.
They couldn't get over it. One of the women said, wow, that is like a point in life. How you can do that? I said, easily. You want me to do the next house?
And also, as you become more mature, right? You think that, you know what, I don't have anything to lose anymore. Lah.
Yes, yeah. You can be, but you know what? You mustn't be sloppy. Because when I get into the train and the bus, no diff. But even when I get into a cab and the driver says, "Where do you want to go, auntie?" I'll immediately get out of the cab, go up and change my baju. Yeah,
because he said that most offensive of words.
Yes.
Auntie.
Yeah, sometimes once in a while they'll say, "Where do you want to go, miss?" So that's fine. So don't be sloppy.
And they make your day. It comes full circle to that life advice that your teacher gave you when you were 14 years old, or was it earlier than that? And she said, like you shared with us, even if you're going to copy, at least copy the correct answers.
Yes.
Don't be sloppy.
Yes. No, I can't get over that. She exactly said how stupid, how Goondu can you be? Copy the wrong one. Get it right.
That's amazing. Okay, let's end off this way. Sylvia, what are you most grateful for at this point in time in your life?
The reading public. I must thank them, and now the listening public as well, because they've been kind. I would like to say thank you for that. Of course, now you can go ahead and insult me lah.
Of course, we wouldn't dare to do that,
Yes,
because
that's right.
We know that your comeback is going to be a lot more
I'll
sharper
come to
and more
your
effective.
door, ring it, and then run.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can subscribe and follow A Letter to Myself on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And leave us a review as well if you liked what you've heard. Till next week, I'm Joel Chua, signing off.